Hello, this is Cool History 76. Well, today we're going to talk about World War I and propaganda. Now, many of you remember hearing about the Lusitania in school, right? And how the Lusitania had innocent people on it, and those evil German U-boats came along and sunk the Lusitania. Well, in fact, they didn't just sink one ship, they sank lots of ships. In fact, 75,000 people died as a result of the U-boat attacks. So, that was the reason why we got into World War I. The big reason. To keep shipping on the high seas free and open. That was our reason. But that wasn't the whole story. Did you know that the British also had a blockade of Germany? And they wouldn't even let food into Germany. And so what happened was 750,000 Germans starved to death. That's 10 times the number that the Germans killed. The British were 10 times more guilty than the Germans. And Germany even agreed to stop the U-boat attacks if Britain would stop their blockade. But, of course, that didn't happen. Now, why didn't we hear about this? Because the British cut the transatlantic cable that brought us information from Germany. And so we didn't hear about it. The British also closed neutral ports that they feared might be sympathetic to Germany, and they mined the entire North Sea. So, why did we enter the war? Well, number one, to keep shipping alive. Well, hello, the British were the ones that were mining the North Sea. The British were the ones starving 10 times more people than the Germans ever hurt. And so you ask, why then? Why were we on Britain and France's side? Now, the reason's quite simple. You see, we were doing a lot of trade with Britain and France, and they owed us a lot of money. You see where this is going, money. And we realized that if the Allies lost, we wouldn't get repaid. And because they owed us money, they had to win the war. And that's why we came on their side. So we got a lot of propaganda to make us think that the Germans were evil and the British were righteous. And that's just simply not the case. In most cases in history, nobody wears a white hat or a black hat. It's just people are people. We're not always all good or all bad. But in this case, it seems like the Germans were better than the British. Now, when you hear propaganda today, you need to ask yourselves the 5 questions. Who, what, when, where, and why? First, who is not being interviewed? Who is not being heard from? Number 2, what are you not hearing? Did they cut the transatlantic cable? Or maybe today they just simply don't report on something. What are you not hearing about? When does the information get to you? Do you hear about the information right when it happens? Or do they put the story on file until they need it? Where is the information released? And also, why are you getting the information you're getting? Sometimes I wonder, why this story? Why did this story make the news? So let's say they have a story about kids drowning in pools. Okay. Well, that's been going on for decades, centuries, thousands of years. People drown in pools. It happens. It's bad and it happens. But why did it make the news today? Is there some legislation pending? Are they trying to get rid of pools altogether? What's going on here? So when you hear propaganda, remember World War I was full of propaganda. Alright, thank you for watching Cool History 76. Please subscribe.